Season 49, war number 12, and we are up against the number 1 alliance of the season, S. And this time my team will be Mantis, White Tiger and Toad. I will be taking Path 1 in Section 1, Path 7 in Section 2, then I will be taking a Korg, Gore, Zemo, and finally a Photon miniboss, and that will be it for me from this war. And the whole season at that. Now to start off with, our chances of winning were very slim to none, but then on like the first fight there you see on Path 3, we died 4 times to a Venom. So at that point we just gave up, and yeah, we are not fully boosting for these fights. Now first off here we have a spot on the personal space regeneration node, and I'm taking the fight with Mantis. Overall, Mantis is not a great option for spot, but as long as you play against Spot properly and manage his spot gain, you can essentially use anyone. Now Mantis doesn't really do anything for the regenerations here either, but so long as I can get a decent run buff for a special 2, I can either nuke the fight down, or at least cycle a couple specials to take it down. But there, I got caught by a special 1 on my dashback, so I couldn't punish it, and now he has more than 5 spots to trigger his untouchable. I'm also cornered, so the personal space regeneration node can stack up the regens, and overall that's just not great. So far this fight has not gone well at all. I get cornered again with the special 1 with the special punish, so once again I couldn't stop the spot gain by punishing the special, and he's gaining the spots very quickly. Honestly, the RNG I had here on those spots was horrible, but at the same time, what more can I expect when I don't use an actual counter? So now I wait out the untouchable, charge up my heavy here for 4 Furies, drop the special 2 for guaranteed crits, and the fight goes down in a minute and a half. I did lose a ton of health, did not play it well, luck was not on my side, but at the very least I didn't die to it. Then next up we have a Kate Bishop on the Masochism Overtime node, and I'm taking the fight with White Tiger. Once again I could be using Toad here, but since White Tiger is OP and pretty satisfying to use, I'm using her here instead. Now the real reason I'm using her is that she doesn't have any debuffs on her basic attacks, so the Masochism is not gonna be a problem until I get to my special 2, and at that point I should have enough tactic prowesses to shut down the opponent's purifiability accuracy anyways, and then the bleed will not, well, trigger the Masochism node. Special 2 here, she starts bleeding, she's melting. I got back to another specialty with a single combo, drop it, once again bleed is on the opponent and they just melt. Fight was pretty quick, finished at a full yellow bar due to the health steal, stealing the opponent's willpower healing with the bleed debuff, and onwards we go. Also I had the Mystic Powerback boosts active for the next few fights, so that is also another reason to use White Tiger over Toad. Here we have a Dr. Doom on the second wind unblockable and make a stand node, and I'm taking the fight with White Tiger. Doom doesn't really benefit from the nodes all too much and is not tactic, so there's nothing really to worry about. All there's left is just a basic Doom fight with a little bit, well, more tankiness due to the mega stand protection, but that's easily dealt with. Now MD is something that would still be a problem here, but tactic prowesses also lower the opponent's ability power rate. That counts for Mystic Dispersion, so it will do absolutely nothing at this point. Now all that is left is to just slowly but surely take this guy down, spam some special 2s, and that's it. The only real way for me to die at this point is if I aid a special 2 or push him to a special 3, but I don't think that's gonna be a problem. I went ahead and weaved in a heavy there to knock him down to remove the Mega Stand protection, so that my special 2 would deal the full damage. Even with the precision passive, I'm not landing nearly enough crits to be able to cycle specials, but that's fine. Doom isn't all that difficult to deal with, and the fight went down without any bigger problems. Then we have a Kingpin on the second wind unblockable and power creep node along with standing in fear, and I'm taking the fight with White Tiger as well. Now this fight, yeah, I could use Toad, but the opponent purifying Toad's personal poisons counts for the power creep node, and that's not what you want to deal with, so White Tiger is the stronger option by far. So essentially all I gotta do is just get the tactic process up early to shut down the opponent's purifiability accuracy, and that way the power creep node will never have a chance to do anything, and then all that is left is just some special 2 spamming, as you usually do with White Tiger. Now, abusing MD here is also something White Tiger can do to spam even more specials, but it wasn't necessary with the Mystic Artifact boosts, and down he goes in less than 50 seconds. Not really a problematic fight at all. His power gain was getting a little bit out of hand due to the combat power rate increase he gets from each debuff on him, but the fight went down before that became too big of an issue to deal with. And then we have a Korg here on the personal space regeneration mini-boss node, along with whatever else it has on, and I'm taking the fight with Toad. Now Korg is not a tactic defender, so he has no way to remove Toad's tactic prowesses, and as long as I have 3 of them, the opponent's purifiability accuracy is 0. And that means he will not be purifying any of my parry stuns, so I can freely just parry and do light combos, and that means he will not do any of that Rock Thorns damage that he is known for. At that point all that is really left is just, well, melt him down with poisons and special 1 spam. The poisons themselves lower the opponent's regeneration rate, add in the regen rate reduction from Despair, and as you can see, the regen from the personal space regeneration node is barely doing anything, if anything. So as long as I just keep those poisons up, he will not be able to heal, and as long as, well, I don't get hit like an idiot over and over again for like a 3 combo straight, there's no way I'm dropping dead here myself. I am doing my best to avoid hitting into the Rock Shield, or I think it's Rock Shield, with mediums or specials, so that I wouldn't have to use a potion in this or after this fight. But that doesn't seem to be necessary at all, and even then I could just go into the fights with 40% revives and it would be okay, since we are not winning this one and we are basically locked in the top 20 of Masters. Either way the fight went down, no issues there, and then next up we have a rematch against a fight that I died to previously. And now, having learned from my mistakes, I am gonna go ahead and use the advanced power boost. So here we have a Gore on the Burden of Might and High Energy Diet mini-boss node, and I am taking the fight with White Tiger. Now I know I said we are not really fully boosting here or anything, but I'm still not planning on dying this war, so I'm still using medium boosts, the grey boosts, and I'm using potions as well. Mainly for the content, and even then I just don't like dying in war, even if we are not taken too seriously. So now as we can see here, starting with the advanced power boost so I can get to my special 2 faster is a lot easier than what I was doing before, and the fight is done in less than 40 seconds, full yellow bar, Gore didn't get to do anything, and that's a bit of a contrast when looking at the previous fight. And yeah, if I'm ever taking the fight again, I definitely will not forget about the boost. I'm not making the same mistake twice. Now then we have a Baron Zemo here on the Hazard Shift, Incinerate and Poison node, or mini-boss node, and I'm taking the fight with Toad. Taken this fight a few times before. Game plan is the same as usual. Avoid hitting during the Incinerate phase, and then just manage the opponent's cleanses, so that if I were to trigger my 5th debuff on them, it will be with a special attack and not my medium. That way I will avoid the root and all the issues that it would cause. Now there, due to me getting hit earlier and having the passive regeneration on, any contact with the opponent has a chance to inflict those poison debuffs. So as soon as a few of my hits inflicted poisons, he only had a single cleanse left. I tried to just throw my special 1, but I did it before my basic attack landed, and that resulted in the opponent having enough time to recover and block the special. Luckily he didn't punish me for it, but he very well could have. And well, at this point the fight is almost done, but he's just not dashing back. He keeps spamming into my block, and here I made the mistake of blocking a single hit, and he crit through my block for 56,000 damage, and he only had 3 Furies active. To me that just sounds insane, and that ability that Zemo has is stupid, and honestly I don't think it should work with any immunity at all. But well, that's just how it works, and it's something you gotta deal with. I didn't, and I almost paid the price for it. Luckily that was the last Toad fight, but my god, it hurt a lot. If I wasn't boosted and if I didn't use that health potion earlier, I would have been dead for sure. Now we have the final fight of the war and the season, a Photon on the Conflictor miniboss node along with Combat Deja Vu Prowess, and I'm taking the fight with Mantis. A very simple Mantis fight. All I gotta do is just hit her and keep the Tranquilize up, slowly but surely get up to my special 2. I don't need to worry about intercepting or hitting into the block with Intimidate or any of that. The ramp up comes from me failing Photon's debuffs. That's essentially all there is to it. Now, for whatever reason, the AI has gotten very good at special intercepting, and I just got hit by a full special 1 there with crit a few times, and I almost died to it. So once again, if I was not boosted as much as I am, I would be dead, and honestly, getting special intercepted, I deserve to be dead. But somehow, I'm not. I managed to get the special 2 of boost myself to a special 3 with that, and even then it wasn't enough to take her down. So only this special 2 from Photon is between me and the solo. I get the full dex, special 1, and the fight is done. So that's 2 fights in a row where I definitely should have died, or could have died at the very least, but I didn't, and I did manage to get the solo and the flawless final war. Well, if you can even call it that, considering the mistakes I made. As for the results, we did end up losing the war 4-98, though 98 of those deaths, most of them don't count. But regardless, we lost and landed somewhere in the top 20, which is still better than I thought after the issues we had in roughly halfway through the season. Now usually at the end of the season I would share my season stats and all of that, but we stopped keeping count until what went down, so I don't have them. I could go back and look at all my previous war videos and figure it out, but while I'm recording this video I don't have time to do that, unfortunately. So this time around, well, it's already like 2 weeks after the previous season, so I don't think anyone even cares at this point, so I'm just not gonna do that. But if you're still here, if you're still watching and have been watching for the rest of these war videos, I thank you for that. I always try to do better and get this out in time, but I just have some issues keeping up with that. Regardless, I'm gonna call this season here. New season starting very soon if it hasn't already, and I'll try better again. I can't promise anything, but I will try.